What it means to be a man, the lost art of masculinity. You were born to be a man, not just biologically, but in every way that matters. A protector, a provider, a builder, a leader. But somewhere along the way, we lost that. Society told you to be soft, to apologize for being strong, to shrink yourself so others could feel comfortable. And you listened. You became a shadow of what you could be. But today, we're reclaiming what it means to be a real man. And if you're ready to understand that, stay with me. Welcome to Level Up Mindset. This is the channel where we don't just talk about motivation, we talk about what it actually means to be a man in today's world. If you're ready to reclaim your masculine power and become the man you were meant to be, subscribe now and let's go. There was a time when manhood meant something, when a man's word was his bond, when a man would sacrifice everything for his family, when strength was celebrated, not demonized, when discipline was a virtue, not a flaw. But somewhere, we lost that. Today, we live in a world where men are confused about what they're supposed to be, and it's not your fault. Society has spent decades telling men to apologize for their nature. Be less aggressive, be more sensitive. Don't pursue so hard. Don't compete so much. Shrink yourself. Make yourself smaller so others feel bigger. And you know what happened? Men started believing it. They started thinking that being a man was something to be ashamed of. David Goggins once said, "You're not going to like what I'm about to say, but you've been lied to. Society doesn't want you to be the best version of yourself. It wants you to be comfortable, controllable, and weak." He's right, and that's the problem. In our last video, we talked about how most men are living as cowards without even realizing it, making excuses, playing it safe, avoiding the hard work. But cowardice is just the symptom. The real disease is that we've forgotten what it means to be a man in the first place. Men today are lost. They don't know what they're supposed to be. They don't know what strength looks like. They don't know what leadership looks like. They don't know what sacrifice looks like. So they default to what society tells them, and society tells them to be less. But here's the truth that nobody wants to say. Being a man is not a flaw. It's a superpower. Strength is not toxic, it's necessary. Competition is not cruel, it's what drives progress. Ambition is not selfish, it's what builds civilizations. And if you're a man who still has these instincts, if you still feel that drive to be great, to compete, to provide, to lead, that's not something to apologize for. That's something to embrace. So what does real manhood actually look like? Let me paint you a picture. A real man wakes up before the world does, not because he has to, but because he respects the day. He respects his own potential. He knows that the early morning is sacred ground, a time when he can work on himself before the world demands his attention. A real man takes care of his body, not to look good for Instagram, but because his body is a weapon, it's his instrument of power. Well, he understands that discipline in the gym translates to discipline in every area of his life. Jordan Peterson said, "Fix your room before you try to fix the world." I say, fix your body before you try to fix anything else. A real man faces his fears. He doesn't avoid pain, he runs toward it. He knows that every hard thing he does today makes him stronger for tomorrow. He knows that comfort is the enemy of growth. A real man provides, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, physically. He takes care of the people who depend on him. He's not waiting for perfect circumstances. He's building them. A real man leads, not by being the loudest voice in the room, but by being the most reliable, by having integrity, by keeping his word, by being the kind of man other men want to follow. Andrew Tate said something that resonated with millions of men. The most masculine thing a man can do is improve himself every single day. It's not about being better than other men. It's about being better than you were yesterday. That's the core of real manhood. Constant improvement, relentless pursuit of excellence, not for ego, but because you owe it to yourself and the people who depend on you. A real man understands delayed gratification. He doesn't need everything now. He can wait. He can suffer. He can work without reward. He knows that the greatest prizes in life come to those who are willing to pay the price that others won't pay. Elon Musk works 80-hour weeks, not because he has to, but because that's what excellence requires. That's what building something great requires. And a real man understands that. A real man is stoic. He doesn't complain about his circumstances. He doesn't blame others for his failures. He takes full responsibility. He says, "This is my life. I'm in control of it, and I'm going to make it great." Marcus Aurelius, the greatest man in Rome, wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A real man understands this. He controls what he can control, and he accepts what he can't. A real man has a code, a set of principles that he lives by, and he never compromises those principles for comfort or convenience. His word is his bond. His integrity is non-negotiable. Let me be clear about something. The world needs masculine energy, not toxic masculinity, not aggression or cruelty, but real, pure masculine energy. We need men who are strong. We need men who lead. We need men who provide. We need men who protect. We need men who aren't afraid to take risks, to fail, to get back up and try again. And here's what's wild. When you embrace your masculinity fully, when you stop apologizing for being a man, your entire life changes. Your relationships improve because women are attracted to strong, grounded men, not soft, confused men who are trying to be something they're not. Your career accelerates because men who are clear on their vision, who are decisive, who are willing to work harder than everyone else, they rise to the top. Your health improves because you start taking your body seriously. You start seeing fitness as a form of respect for yourself. Your mind sharpens because you're no longer living in internal conflict. You're not pretending to be something you're not. You're fully aligned with who you are. Joe Rogan said something I've never forgotten. The key to a great life is to be the best version of yourself, not to be like someone else, but to maximize your own potential. And that's the invitation right here. Not to be some toxic caricature of masculinity, but to be the best male version of yourself, to be strong without being cruel, to be confident without being arrogant, to be ambitious without being selfish, to be decisive without being reckless. That's real manhood. And here's what's incredible. When you commit to that, when you actually become that version of yourself, you inspire other men to do the same. You create a ripple effect. You become a standard that other men want to reach. That's leadership. That's influence. So that's what it means to be a man in the truest sense. So here's my challenge for you. And I want you to take this seriously because your life depends on it. In our last video, we asked you to stop being a coward and commit to 30 days of no excuses. If you did that, you already know what it feels like to take control of your life. You already know that you're capable of more. Now we're taking it to the next level. For the next 90 days, I want you to commit to reclaiming your masculinity, not in a toxic way, but in a real way. This is what comes after you've stopped being a coward. This is you becoming who you were always meant to be. Here's what that looks like. First, commit to your physical discipline. Train your body like a man, not to look good, but because it matters, because you respect yourself. Hit the gym, do hard things. Push yourself past comfort. Second, commit to your purpose. Define what you want to build, whether it's a business, a skill, a family, a legacy. Define it, and then work toward it with everything you've got. No half measures, no excuses. Third, commit to your integrity. Keep your word. Be reliable. Be the man other men can count on. Be the man that when he says something, people believe him. Fourth, commit to your growth. Read, learn, improve. Never stop getting better. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you start declining. Fifth, commit to your vision. Stop living for others' approval. Stop shrinking yourself. Stand tall. Speak your truth. Lead with your convictions. David Goggins said, "The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself." And that's true. Till you stop listening to what everyone else thinks a man should be, listen to what's calling from inside you. That voice telling you that you're capable of more. That's your real self. Honor that. 90 days. That's all I'm asking. Commit to these 5 things for 90 days and you will not recognize yourself. You will become a man you respect, a man others respect, a man who knows what he stands for and isn't afraid to stand for it. And when you do this, when you actually commit, you'll understand something profound. Being a man isn't a burden. It's a privilege. It's a gift. It's the greatest opportunity you've been given to make your mark on this world. The world doesn't need more followers. It doesn't need more men apologizing for being strong. It doesn't need more men shrinking themselves. What the world needs is men, real men. Men who know what they stand for. Men who are willing to work. Men who take responsibility. Men who lead. Men who inspire. And that man could be you, starting today. So here's what I need from you. Don't just watch this and feel inspired for 10 minutes. Actually do something. Make the decision right now. Commit to your 90-day challenge. Pick one of those 5 things and start today. If you haven't watched our last video on stopping being a coward, go watch that first. Then come back and commit to this 90-day journey toward real manhood. If you're ready to reclaim your masculinity and become the man you were meant to be, subscribe to Level Up Mindset right now. Hit that notification bell. Join the community of men who are doing this. This is what we do here. We don't just talk, we transform, we build men. Your 90 days start today. And make them count. Become who you're meant to be. Now go earn it.